Elise Moreau's story began with a deep, unexplainable connection to the sea, a force that shaped her very identity. Even as a little girl, living far from the coast, Elise felt the ocean's presence tugging at her spirit. She would spend hours lost in pages about marine creatures, her mind drifting into the depths alongside them. Orca documentaries became her favorite escape, their haunting melodies lingering in her thoughts long after the credits rolled. Orcas, above all, captivated her. Their sharp minds, complex families, and raw strength made them seem almost otherworldly, guardians of a secret realm she yearned to discover. Elise's room transformed into a tribute to these majestic animals, with orca posters and her own sketches covering every inch. Each image was a silent vow. One day, she would meet them face to face. What started as a childhood obsession soon became a lifelong passion. Her orca plush was her constant companion, and as she matured, her dreams only grew more vivid. Every school assignment, every science fair, every essay revolved around the ocean, especially orcas. Her enthusiasm for marine conservation became her trademark among teachers and classmates. While her peers hung out at parties or shopped at the mall, Elise was at the aquarium, notebook in hand, carefully observing orca behavior and recording every detail. She volunteered at animal shelters and marine rescue organizations, gaining hands-on experience with animals in need. Yet her heart always drifted back to the sea. For Elise, becoming an orca trainer wasn't just a job, it was her destiny, a purpose she couldn't ignore, no matter the obstacles. The path was demanding: years of study, late nights with marine biology textbooks, and relentless dedication to her goal. Eventually, she moved closer to the ocean, taking any position that brought her nearer to the water. Cleaning tanks, assisting researchers, always keeping her dream in sight. After countless applications and interviews, Elise finally earned a spot in the elite training program at Ocean World, a place she had only imagined in her dreams. Stepping through the gates as a trainee, she was filled with a mix of excitement and nerves. The sights and sounds of the marine park felt surreal. She was finally part of this extraordinary world. And when Elise met Triton, gazing into the orca's wise, soulful eye, she knew she had found her place, answering the call that had echoed in her heart since she was a child. Life as an orca trainer was demanding, both physically and emotionally. Every day brought new challenges, from the early morning routines to the late-night checks on the animals. The work was relentless, requiring strength, patience, and a deep sense of responsibility. But Elise thrived on it. She found purpose in the rhythm of her days, and the energy of the marine park fueled her passion. The long hours and hard work never deterred her. Instead, they made her more determined to succeed. She prepared buckets of fish, cleaned habitats, and meticulously checked every detail to ensure the orca's well-being. Each task, no matter how small, was a vital part of caring for these magnificent creatures. Elise cherished her connection with the orcas. She believed that every interaction, every gentle touch, built trust and understanding between them. She learned their personalities, quirks, and moods. Over time, she could sense when an orca was playful, anxious, or simply wanted to be left alone. Her strongest bond was with Triton, the park's largest and most enigmatic orca. He was a giant among giants, both awe-inspiring and intimidating. Other trainers were wary of him, often keeping their distance and treating him with extra caution. But Elise saw his intelligence and sensitivity. She noticed the subtle ways he communicated, the glimmer of curiosity in his eyes. She spent extra time with him, earning his trust with patience and respect. She believed that, with enough care, even the most powerful animals could become friends. Their relationship became the heart of her work, a partnership built on mutual respect and understanding. Triton responded to her in ways he wouldn't for others. He performed unique behaviors, showed affection, and even seemed to anticipate her moods. They developed a unique language, a silent understanding beyond commands. Sometimes a simple glance or gesture was enough for them to communicate. In the water with him, she felt a sense of peace and connection that was hard to describe. It was as if the world faded away, leaving only the two of them moving in perfect harmony. This bond was the centerpiece of the park's most popular show, Echoes of the Ocean. Audiences came from far and wide to witness their remarkable partnership. Elise and Triton performed breathtaking routines together, pushing the boundaries of what people thought possible between human and orca. To the crowds, it was a magical display of interspecies harmony, a living testament to the power of trust and cooperation. For Elise, it was the validation of her life's work. Each show was a reminder of the bond she had built and the dreams she was living. She believed she was helping people connect with these animals, opening their eyes to the beauty and intelligence of orcas. She thought her bond with Triton could inspire a generation to love and protect the ocean's giants, to see them as more than just performers. She was living her dream, unaware of the fine line she was walking between wonder and danger, between devotion and risk. The dream job had become a fatal nightmare, a tragic reminder of the unpredictable power of the giants she loved. The day of the accident began like any other. Elise arrived early, going through her morning routine with calm purpose. She checked the water temperature and chemical levels in the orca habitats. She greeted her fellow trainers with a bright smile. Nothing suggested that this day would be different. She spent the morning preparing for the noon show. She walked to the edge of Triton's pool, calling his name. He emerged, resting his head on the ledge as she gently stroked him. He seemed calm, responsive, with no signs of agitation. As the park filled with guests, the energy began to build. Families found their seats, anticipation in the air. Elise changed into her performance wetsuit, her focus sharpening. She did her final checks, visualizing the routine. Standing backstage, listening to the crowd, she felt the familiar rush of adrenaline. It was showtime. The show began flawlessly. Elise called Triton, who burst from the water in a spectacular breach. For 20 minutes they moved in perfect sync. Elise was in her element, sharing her incredible partner with the world. The performance neared its grand finale, the trust dance. Elise slid into the pool, the cool water enveloping her. Triton approached her gently. She gave the signal for a foot push, a well-rehearsed behavior. But something went wrong. Instead of pushing her forward, Triton stopped. He held her foot, his grip firm. Elise didn't panic, trying to give the signal to release. He didn't respond, pulling her under the water. The situation escalated with terrifying speed. Triton pulled Elise down, holding her underwater. The beautiful dance turned into a brutal struggle. The music stopped and the horrifying reality sank in. The show was over. A nightmare had begun. The festive atmosphere shattered in an instant. The cheerful music was replaced by stunned silence and screams. Parents covered their children's eyes, trying to shield them. The spectacle of joy had curdled into a public display of violence. For Elise's co-workers, it was pure panic. Alarms sounded and trainers tried to distract Triton, but the massive orca was unresponsive. The crowd's reaction was a mixture of paralysis and pandemonium. The emergency response team arrived but was powerless. They stood at the edge of the pool, helpless. The feeling of helplessness was absolute and suffocating. The struggle in the pool felt like an eternity. Finally, Triton let Elise go. Her limp body floated to the surface. The park's emergency team acted instantly. They guided her to the edge of the pool. Paramedics swarmed around her, beginning CPR. The silence of the stadium was punctuated by the medical team's efforts. Her fellow trainers stood nearby, praying for a miracle. The park was placed on lockdown. Guests were ushered out, their faces pale with shock. The cheerful facade of Ocean World had crumbled. Despite the paramedics' efforts, it was too late. Elise Moreau was pronounced dead at the scene. Her death was a devastating blow to the marine animal trainer community. The investigation into what went wrong was about to begin. The investigation into Elise Moreau's death was intense. Every second of the final performance was scrutinized. Investigators reviewed footage and interviewed everyone present. They were looking for a trigger, a series of mistakes. The findings were unsettling, revealing many contributing factors. Triton's history showed a pattern of agitated behavior. He had been involved in several minor incidents before. Experts pointed to the stress of captivity as the root cause. Triton's world was small, artificial, and monotonous. The attack was not born of malice but of psychological trauma. The investigation highlighted potential lapses in safety protocols. The bond between Elise and Triton may have created a false sense of security. The focus was on the show, missing the animal's true state. It was a tragic combination of a stressed animal and a system that failed. Elise Moreau's death sent shockwaves beyond Ocean World, reverberating through the hearts of animal lovers, marine professionals, and the general public alike. The tragedy was covered by news outlets around the globe, and soon, Elise's name became synonymous with a growing movement for change. Her passing forced a public conversation about the ethics of keeping orcas in captivity, sparking heated debates on talk shows, in classrooms, and around dinner tables. People began to question not just the safety of trainers but the very morality of confining such intelligent social creatures for entertainment. The tragedy led to immediate and sweeping reforms within the marine park industry. Executives and staff were compelled to reevaluate long-standing practices, and new safety protocols were introduced almost overnight. Waterwork was prohibited and shows were redesigned to prioritize the well-being of both animals and trainers. The once lively arenas grew quieter as the focus shifted from spectacle to education and animal care. Parks invested heavily in new habitat designs, aiming to reduce stress and provide more naturalistic environments for the orcas. Enrichment activities and larger enclosures became the new standard, reflecting a deeper respect for the animals' needs. Elise's story became a turning point in public perception, inspiring documentaries, articles, and even legislative proposals. Visitors to marine parks began to look at orcas with new eyes, questioning the cost of their entertainment. In response, some parks transitioned toward conservation and rescue, focusing on rehabilitation and the release of marine animals back into the wild. The industry slowly began to redefine its purpose. The tragedy forced the industry to confront difficult truths about animal welfare, human ambition, and the limits of our control over nature. Staff and trainers were left to reflect on their own roles and responsibilities. Elise Moreau's legacy is complex, marked by both admiration and sorrow. She became a symbol of dedication, but also a reminder of the risks inherent in her profession. She is remembered as a passionate woman who died doing what she loved, forging deep bonds with the animals she cared for. Her colleagues recall her infectious enthusiasm and unwavering commitment. Her death serves as a powerful cautionary tale, urging us to reconsider the boundaries between humans and wild animals, and the responsibilities we bear when we cross them. It highlights the ethical questions of captivity, challenging us to weigh the value of education and entertainment against the rights and well-being of sentient beings. Her story continues to echo in the ongoing debate about our relationship with nature, inspiring activists, scientists, and everyday people to advocate for change. It reminds us that some creatures are simply too wild, too powerful, and too free-spirited to be tamed, no matter how much we wish to connect with them. Elise's life was a testament to love and dedication, but her death became a catalyst for change, one that continues to shape the future of marine parks and our understanding of the natural world.